Good evening and welcome to MW Hiramore Park for the Laois Shopping Centre Intermediate Football Championship Final between Mountmellick and Park Ratheniska. I'm joined here tonight by Chris Conway. Chris needs no introduction to Laois football. Firstly, Chris, congratulations on your new role and the very best of it from everyone here in Laois.
Thanks, Pat.
And delighted you can join us. And I suppose again, maybe you're here for a different reason from our point, because you and your club have been up close with these two teams more so than anyone this year, and to be fair to see, you're the ones that have given them the hardest games in what has been an intermediate championship, with both of these teams having easy wins up till when they got to play ye.
Yeah, obviously both of them, you know what I mean, would have been fancied from the outset. Mountmellick for the last couple of years, you know, they've been knocking on the door. Ratheniska have come with great momentum out of their junior victory a couple of months ago, and both of them, as I say, I suppose along with ourselves, would have been fancied. Unfortunately, we came out the wrong side of a couple of good duels with them, and best of luck to the both of them tonight.
So we'll start with Park Ratheniska. 4 months ago they stood in here and won the Junior A final. Tight enough game. People said they were lucky to win. It doesn't matter, they won it. And ever since then things have been just going sweetly for them. And you've had a look at their team and you've been impressed, and I'm sure you've been impressed looking from the sideline as some of their younger players in particular, but their older players as well have really been, if they what we call that, have been very important to them as a unit.
Yeah, no, they have. As I said, it's as if by winning the junior they got the monkey off the back, and they're playing with great freedom. They flew into the intermediate championship with big victories over Timahoe and Cretillard. I seen both of them, and obviously against ourselves, they won the duel in the end, courtesy, I suppose, as you say. Some of their younger players have played very well during the year. Simon Fingleton in midfield, James Connolly in the forward line. The two Delaney's at both ends of the park have been outstanding for them, and as I say, Sean Tynan and Brian Dunn have been very effective for them up front as well.
And of course the last said Brian Fingleton, a big loss for them, came off with a shoulder injury, but I think we have a bit of good news for them. There's one of their injured players coming back to replace him. Yeah,
Josh Mulhall is back in. Now whether he lines out corner back for him, he did in early on in the championship until he got injured against Cretillard, but he's very flexible. Josh very good on the ball. He came on wing forward here in the forward line in that junior final and done very well that evening for them against Portlaoise.
Mountmellick is, a team that were, around for 11 seasons up till 2017 in the senior championship, and got to two senior semi-finals when Portlaoise were at their height. They want to get back. The last one, the intermediate 2006, but they have another strong panel, and they've introduced some younger lads as well this year, which has really helped them.
Yeah, it has. It has probably given them the kick, that they needed down in intermediate the last few years, and as I say, Garrod Hanrahan has played very well still in the back line. He was missing for the semi-final against Timahoe, but the likes of himself and Fitzpatrick are the fulcrum of the defence, and up front you have Colin Coss and Niall Mullen still doing the job for them.
So we're going to take a break. We'll come back to you with the teams as we pause for the national anthem. As the crowd, big crowd in here tonight, cheering on both their clubs. Seamus Mulhare is tonight's referee, Brendan McCann and Brendan Hickey, the two linesmen. We're going to start with the teams as they line out. First of all, Park Ratheniska in goal, Jamie Downey. The full back line, as we said, Brian Fingleton replaced now by Josh Hall. Mark Delaney, full back, is captain, and Benny Green. Half back line, Richie Hitchcock, Colin Brennan and Jimmy Langton. Midfield, Paddy Dunn, Simon Fingleton. Half forward line, Brian Flanagan, Kieran Delaney and Mark G. Delaney. And the full forward line is James Connolly, Sean Tynan and Brian Dunn. In Mountmellick, Keogh's in goals. Keane Thompson is now being replaced by number 19, Owen George, Gerard Hanrahan and Richie McElwee, the rest of the full back line. Redmond McAvoy, Darren Fitz and Kai Byrne are the half back line. Stephen Lynch and Ty Cullett in midfield. Mark Dowling, John Noonan and Niall Mullins are the half forward line. The full forward line, Finn Cullerton, Colin Cost and John Connolly, and the match has gone on the way, and straight away Colin Cost is out it, and Colin Cost is going to be a huge important player from a huge experienced man. You can already see he's coming out the field to get on the ball.
Yeah, out the field for the throw in, which he duly won, and has been, heavily involved in the play so far, as he will be, tonight for Mountmellick. Whether he stays out there, I would imagine he'll drift inside. They've used him more as an attacker than a midfielder as best they can this year.
And the ball went into John Connolly, who came off to Niall Mullen, who came running in. Mullen puts it back. It looks like Mark Dowling on it. He goes to the ground though, being tackled by Jimmy Langton. Mark Delaney is there. Mark G. Delaney. A couple of times we'll say that tonight as John Connolly tries to go to the ground. Colin Brennan, that's quickly that makes the pass. Colin Brennan plays for free there. Mark Delaney is clearing it, and that's one ball to the right back. And again, the conditions, Chris, we started raining about an hour ago. Dirty, drizzle, breezy, little bit of breeze in aiding Park Ratheniska.
Yeah, it is, and it's not quite, obviously, I suppose, what the both teams would have been used to so far this season. Park Ratheniska have played all their matches on the top of the ground in Stradbally, and on the attack here now.
Anxious, Chris, both teams, I suppose, and probably take time to settle down with the final.
Yeah, exactly, and even Jamie's gone short with the kick out, but they're working it out. But yeah, both teams had a free. Granted, they were both close to the sideline, but they went short with both of them rather than maybe trying to put them down, have a shot on goal, and settle on it.
Choosing not to go along with it, trying to win the kick out themselves. Richie Hitchcock pushed up to the middle. Richie, that's what he can do all day. Huge power into it, and Richie passes out to Brian Flanagan, drops him. Flanagan has a look, decides not to go for the shot. He's going to bring it over this side of the Patrick Dunn has it now. He goes inside to brother Brian. Brian tries to get a hands on it, but didn't. Drop down there to Ty Culton. Big tall man. Culton out to Redmond McAvoy. Back again, number 2 dangerous ball. Caught by Culton. Culton was taken out by Simon Fingleton. And Seamus O'Hare goes straight for the goal.
Yeah, it was a clash of feet, though, a tangle of feet, I thought, more so than obviously being cynical in that. I think it's very harsh upon Simon Fingleton. Oh my God. It's extra harsh, the fact that it's a black. We will.
Free out, says Seamus O'Hare for someone touchy on the ground, and out it comes, and back Tynan is back a bit very deep for a full forward, being chased by Stephen Lynch. Tynan still has the ball on to them, pops it outside to Brian Dunn. Dunn straight inside to young Conley. Conley 1 1 against 2, but the ball is going to go over the line. Again, there's just maybe a little bit of panic and nerves and all that stuff, Chris, that we're seeing so far.
Yeah, and just the fact, obviously, that Mountmellick can set up there now with the sweeper. You could see Garrod Hanrahan's cross in front of James Connolly. So Brian Dunn had to put a bit of extra upon the ball with Hanrahan in front, and unfortunately it went out over the end line for Ratheniska on their behalf. Noonan now, good hit. Mark Delaney. Richie McElwee has gone down. It was Mark G. Delaney obviously with the hit, and probably on the frontal side of things.
So Mark Dowling went down to the ground. We're going to see if we can't see what happened. Seamus O'Hara's out there again. I hope. I'm sure Tomas Moore, the other mentors there, Ratheniska, are hoping he doesn't reach for the book again this time. He's not. It's a free in for Mountmellick. Still no score. 6 minutes gone in this intermediate final. Costa goes off him. Being well marshalled by Delaney, that's his job. Inside to Connolly. Connolly goes back to the middle, pops it across here. Two tight Cullerton. Cullerton backed up again. Back out to Mullins. Mullins to Redmond, McAvoy, and McAvoy goes all the way back again. McAvoy onto Mark Dowling. Dowling trying to break free from his man, being followed by Kieran Delaney. Gets the shot off, but that's gone to the right and wide. The referee is calling for. He's pointing.
Testing 1 2.
Pointing it as a 45. He saw some block that the umpire wasn't able. Obviously, he was a lot closer than the umpire was. So it's a 45. Can this be the first score? John Noonan going to step over. Chris Evin, he's been their free taker all year. He's been very accurate and good for them.
Yeah, former underage, obviously player in Dublin and that, and very accurate in that. Coss will work off the right hand side of the field with the freeze with the left foot and that, but again, Coss is the only one in around the square, which I'm surprised at on a night like tonight.
Noonan went in with it. Coss nearly got on it, but the Ratheniska men are digging deep and coming out with it, and they do, and that looks like Richie Hitchcock outside here to Jimmy Langton. Langton looking for young Mark Delaney, but he went by him. Forward to Podgy Dunn. Podgy Dunn now tearing down Connolly to the left of him. If he decides to play him, drag to the ground. And Ty Cullerton. And this could be evens here, Chris. You only fear that. But no, we'll see what he does. He's calling him back.
He's calling him back. I know what Kieran Kelly will be looking for down on the sideline, all right, but it was a strong run, a break from the defence by Pádraig Dunn, and he's not going to the pocket yet. It's more of a pull back, he says, rather than a pull down. Pádraig Dunn was obviously cute going across his run. James Connolly with him, chose not to use him, but Kieran Delaney has the shot now for a free to get the first score after 8 minutes.
Kieran Delaney, a wily servant to both himself and Mark, and of course his father Brendan on the line, and he goes through it, but that's pulled to the left and wide, and again we still have 8.5 minutes gone, no score. And Chris, I suppose that's down to nerves and anxiety for both players and rushing things, but they'll settle down, and maybe the water breakers that they'll all be crying for just to steady themselves down.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. Ironically, we did play both of them in the championship, and we probably had the better of the early exchanges upon both occasions, and neither of them have really settled into it tonight. You have the extra pressure of the final and the fanfare that goes with it, but I'm sure it will develop into a good game yet. Garrod Hanrahan robbed by Tynan. Garrod
Hanrahan tried to burst through, but Sean Tynan very alert there, but it breaks back again though. No free, says the referee, as Owen George puts it over, doesn't go. Mark Dowling stops him going out over the line. He's looking for support there. They're all staying behind. There's no one pushing forward. Mountmellick are content, I think, just trying to keep plenty back as Cullerton goes forward, but they're all coming back. There's a big line them across here now. Chris's movement is slow enough from them really, as Darren Fitz puts it inside. Again, they're trying to play Colin Coss, but so far Mark Delaney has won that battle. Chris,
yeah,
big time.
Playing very well so far. We heard a rumour of obviously a tightened calf last night, but he's shown no signs of it yet.
Brian Dunn went for the ball, got that. Tynan is out him. Brian Dunn the second time asking, gets it, tries to pop it across, still controlling it into Kieran Delaney. Lovely ball over across to Mark G. Delaney. Mark heading down a goal, goes across to young Connolly. Connolly, can he get a touch on it? Well taken by Owen Keogh, and again, Owen Keogh, a man of that calibre, is not going to be beaten like that, Chris.
Yeah, he was very, very quick off the line to read the play as Delaney tried to find Connolly. Unfortunately, the pass was just above him. He's of the diminutive stature and he just couldn't get it into his grasp first time to get a shot off on his left, and Keogh gathered up the pieces as he well does.
Mark Dowling got off Noonan, but he goes wireward with his ball as Jimmy Langton kicks it on again. Young Connolly again, James has gone, but it's gone over his head, and there's plenty of Mountmellick men back there. As we say, Park Ratheniska are playing with 14 men. An early black card for their main player, Simon Fingleton, and that was been a blow for them. They've kind of managed it so far. There's still no score, so Chris, if the 14 man is anything, they've managed it, Ratheniska, to their credit.
They would definitely be the happier of the two teams. The fact that they've maintained parity so far, and they have a free here now on the half line, are gone to the two Dunns trying to combine again.
Brian Dunn be tackled by Kai Byrne. Byrne doesn't get it. That's an accidental clash, referees, and that was Sean Tynan came out the worst way. I think both players are going for the ball, and I think that was accidental more than anything, Chris.
Yeah, again, it was like the Mark G. Delaney's hit on Richie McElwee earlier, except upon opposing sides. This time Tynan has come out the worst and got the free in as a result of it, and James Connolly will take it with the left foot. But the Ratheniska, even though they're down a man, they're still setting up a screen in front of the full back line. They know that Mountmellick obviously want to go direct with the ball into Colin Coss in full forward as early as possible, and between Colin Brennan and, on the last occasion, Richie Hitchcock sitting in, and Jimmy Langton picking up the stray pass then as a result. We've seen Richie obviously break forward once so far. The two wing backs for Ratheniska, they're very potent in terms of striking on the attack and run, with their half forwards dropping back in front of them. Connolly hopefully for the first score now after 12 minutes for Ratheniska.
James Connolly steps up, that's very high and it's very accurate and over the bar, and the first score of the 2021 Intermediate Football Championship final has gone to Park Ratheniska, and they lead by a point to no score. 12 minutes gone as Owen Keogh comes to kick it out. Again, Ratheniska down to 14 men, have been for most of this. Very early on, Simon Fingleton felt a black card from referee Seamus Mulhare, but they've managed it well, and they're gone a point ahead as Mountmellick now trying to get themselves going. Back to Darren Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick down in the middle, been tackled by Delaney Kieran to slow him up, but Owen George is now getting it. He gets away from his man, be tackled by Hitchcock. He shrugs that one off, but the ball goes astray, breaks the Podgy Dunn. Podgy Dunn was going out for the ball, and Stephen Lynch came in there, and Dunn kicks it on straight away inside to Tynan. Tynan being tracked by Gerard Hanron. Gerard goes to the ground, but Tynan up fair, says the referee. Nothing wrong with that. As Richie McElwee's back there, Gerard Hanron back there again, got his hands on the ball and puts it across here to Owen Keogh. Keogh coming out, he'll be told maybe go back and goal. Darren Fitz won't know. He continues on and trying to be tracked there by Kieran Delaney. Owen Keogh still on the ball. George with him. They go long across the field to Ty Colton. Colton be tackled well there by Pádraig Dunn, and Dunn has really done well there. Yeah, pardon the pun, but he has, Chris.
He has indeed. That's two turnovers there now, obviously, after the Mountmellick attack has been held up. Dunn has got in on both of them, and actually both of them were given for the boot going in as he's going down to pick up the pieces. Jimmy Langton here now in midfield, gone infield to Hitchcock.
Back to Podge Dunn, who got that interception. Looks like Jimmy Langton is on the ground there still, as Mark G. Delaney gets onto his right boot, and that looks, it's gone to the right and wide there. He made the space for himself. He did a nice move there, as Simon Fingleton joins the fray, and I'm sure he'll come back twice as anxious and twice as determined, Chris, to get stuck into this game now.
He will, for sure. I suppose the only, he's a real up and at it player, a bundle of energy in the middle, naturally strong, has scored well for them during the year, as well as obviously putting in hits and defending. The one thing he has to be wary of, obviously, now the fact that he's on the black, any more major discretion and sudden, he'd be certainly hoping it won't ruin his night for the spectacle of the game. that we have. Mountmellick, as I say, still no score. Conditions aren't super, I know, but I suppose you seen Orkyo coming out the last time, probably trying to give them a bit of impetus to break out. Owen George coming again on the ball a lot for them so far.
Owen George got that break there, been tackled by Brian Flanagan, goes in first time inside there though. That's to John Connolly outside to Colin Coss now hasn't been a whole lot on it, but he's passed it aside to Mark Dowling. He'll have a go, but I think it might have got a touch. Did it? Yes, it did. Another deflection and another 45. And John Noonan, I'd say, will be hoping to try and put his mark on this one. He missed one just a few minutes ago, earlier than this, from the same spot really, and he'll be trying to make amends.
Yeah, look, he will indeed. It looks like Niall Mullen might be going to hit it. Or switching wings. He's wearing 12, but he has lined out so far in the match at number 10. And it looks like Jimmy Langton going to follow him at the moment.
So there's a trick one, and that was something practiced as George to try to drop the ball. Tomas Moore's claiming it was a free. Seamus Mulher didn't see it that way, but Mark Downey puts it inside again. That's John Connolly comes outside here to John Noonan. That could drop, and a dangerous ball, but well dealt with the slippery ball there by Jamie Downey, and Downey comes out and they move again Park Ratheniska as Brian Flanagan turns back in to Benny Green, and Green back to Colin Brennan, who getting himself in a bit of bother. Back to Green. They'll work their way out this here, Ratheniska and Jimmy Langton. He talk about it coming to him here, but it chose to go the other side where they're well loaded up, and Podge Dunn is going down the line. No one coming to him at the moment. Ball inside, lovely ball inside to Simon Fingleton, who's had a bit of a break for the last few minutes as we got black card. Coming out to him is Connolly there. He decides to go around himself. Now he plays out to Connolly after winning the free, and
yeah, it's that right channel that he likes to attack down. He has done it a number of times for them during the year, and that drew the free in the corner. It is close to the sideline and that, but I'd say with the elements, whatever the bit of wind is out there favouring Ratheniska, James Connolly will take this on for his second score.
40 metres out at a difficult angle that's going across the square. Young Tynan's underneath, so too is Garrod Hanron, and that hops aimlessly out over the sideline as they break for the water break. And 17 minutes gone. Chris. Yeah, yes, we know Ratheniska were down to 14 men. They coped well enough with that. Podge done to do a lot of work. Gordon Lawler just can't be. I'm sure he's not going to be overly happy with what he's seen so far.
No, but at the same time, he just has to try and get them to settle into the game. Like Ratheniska have 5 wides, a goal chance, a half goal chance as well that obviously didn't go to hand. Whilst in the other end, obviously Mountmellick, they've had 3 wides, and I suppose it's really the 2 balls that were dropped short that he'll be disappointed with. There was 2 shots obviously blocked as well, obviously out for a 45 or half blocked out for a 45, so like that's 7 attempts upon goal that they've had, and they've come with no return yet. Jamie Downey dealt with obviously the last ball dropping in high, and whether the wind seems to be picking up a small bit now that the rain has gone and that, but maybe it is a bigger factor than obviously we would have sensed before the match out there.
So I hope you're enjoying what you're seeing so far. Again, it's a titanic battle, I suppose. We never said it was going to be any different. 2 teams ended up here in the final, won both their sides coming through here. It's nip and tuck all the way. Lots of viewers looking in from New South Wales and people in Abu Dhabi and all over the world looking in. It's great to see that, and hope you're enjoying it. And if you're following your own club, you're enjoying it so far. But again, it's so tight. It's only a point in it, and Park Ratheniska have got that point. And we're going to start off from the first water break is over. It's only 17 minutes gone, a point in it, but neither team will care once one of them wins by a point more than the other, Chris.
Yeah, once their name is on the silverware and that. Mountmellick probably just need to try and work it through the lines a bit better, and maybe get the likes of John Newland and Niall Mullen involved there on the half forward line before working it into the full forward line. Ratheniska are used to lining up with 3 and 4 forwards with their 2 working wing forwards all year, so I suppose it didn't really affect them a huge amount. When they were down a man, they had 3 forwards set up instead, with Kieran Delaney dropping into the middle. Good
kick out there from Onkyo. Ty Colton gathered it and was fouled in the process, so Darren Fritz moves the ball on again now, so they go long though, but that's going to be intercepted. No, but Benny Green had a go though, but Finn Colton got his hand on it. Aside here to John Noonan. Noonan side to Coss. Coss trying to go around a column, trying to get on his left boot, going back to the centre. He's still going with it. John Noonan's outside him. 3 Ratheniska men got around him. And a foul, said Seamus Mulhare, and Mark Delaney looks in disbelief on at him. But anyway, referee was closer than either of us, I suppose, Chris.
Indeed he was, yeah. Colm obviously came to the stand, broke in on his left foot, probably when he didn't have the shot straight away, which I'd imagine in the second half he would be having that shot, probably due to just shots dropping short and the wind out there. Had to take it on, went across field, met.
Niall Mullen stepping up with this, and very high. Is it accurate? It is, says the umpire, and the point, and that's Mountmellick's first score. 18.5 minutes gone, so it's a point each in this Laois Shopping Centre Intermediate football final between Park Ratheniska and Mountmellick. Both teams looking to get back to senior. We'll talk about that later on. A lot of them were senior many years ago, but they're back and trying to get back up there. Podge Dunn broke it, so too Mark G. Delaney. Who's going to win that? Brian Dunn is coming out for Ratheniska, gathers it straight, it goes inside to Kieran Delaney, and Delaney just pulled it up, but that's going to sneak inside the post. That's a great score by Kieran Delaney. And he didn't have to think too much about that, Chris, when he got a hold of it.
No, he didn't. Straight onto his left foot. His Mountmellick were trying to put a press on, obviously, with the kick out with Redmond McAvoy and Darren Fitzpatrick pushed up, but the ball spilled. It did spill from Pádraig Dunn's grasp, but it broke forward, and it was Mark Delaney who got his toe to it, and ultimately it ended up with Kieran Delaney, and he notched it even with his weaker left foot in off the post.
Owen Keogh comes out this side. It broke to Niall Mullins off Jimmy Langton. Mullins gets away with it. Niall Mullins, the judge, had been fouling Jimmy Langton, pulling a hand. Referee was looking right at that one as Simon Finkelman steps up to take it. Where's he going to go? Goes inside to Connolly. Connolly goes, tucked very high there by Richie McElwee, and referee's opening the zip in the left hand pocket, and this doesn't look good for Richie McElwee, Chris.
Yeah, no, there's probably a yellow in it, and that he tried to come in with the fist over Connolly's shoulder and that, and caught him high. Yellow card for Richie. It was the two younger players who have obviously played very well for Ratheniska all year, Fingleton and Connolly, combining with the play there. Connolly with the free now, and obviously the Ratheniska supporters will be hoping he obliges again.
James Connolly with the kick and with the accurate bond, and great height, great accuracy, and that's super work from the young man, and gets this club, they pull away into a 2-point lead now. 3 points Park Ratheniska, 1 point Mountmellick. 20 minutes gone.
Yeah, it's been certainly brighter since the water break, with both teams settling into some bit of a rhythm now.
Kieran Kelly giving plenty of instructions on the sideline to his team as Keogh goes out to the middle of it again. Up goes Cullerton, but he didn't get it. It broke this instead to Mark Dowling. Dowling out here to Redmond McAvoy. McAvoy back to Dowling. They're very close there. Mountmellick lads trying to get it through inside to Finn Cullerton, but it broke kindly to Jimmy Langton, and Langton gets it straight on the way. Niall Mullen nearly got a hand to it. Brian Dunn uses his body there to shield it, gets a good touch on the ball. Lovely chip up from pops to the side to the brother Pádraig Dunn. Pádraig straight on the goal. Will he go for goal? He does, and a great goal for Pádraig Dunn. And that's super work, and that's just what they deserved, Chris, from that move. Fantastic move from him.
Yeah, the ball the broke down here under the stand. Broke down under the stand. You can see Brian Dunn into the brother Pádraig, and he kept it low, as you'd be telling any good forward. Owen Keogh came out. He's very good on one-on-ones generally, and he made a number of saves against Ratheniska in the league match that they played out here in the Centre of Excellence earlier in the summer. But this one found the back of the net. Sets up Ratheniska now with a 1-3 to a point lead.
Suddenly it's turned around big time for them, and well deservedly so, you could say, as Owen Keogh goes out to the middle. Again, Ty Culton, they've gone that route all the time. Mountmellick with the kickouts, they need to start playing it through the hands, and maybe they're going to start now. John Noonan on it, coming out looking around to see where the help is coming from. He decides to go long instead of Coss. Mark Delaney got a touch on it. Colm still has it. Colm danced by one or two players, still going around him, dispossessed by Mark Delaney, and Mark again pleads his innocence, but Mulhare is having none of it on this occasion.
Yeah, Coss having to work hard to make any progress there against the Ratheniska defence, and Mullen is out under the stand, but again he'll be looking to go short, unlikely to take on a shot from there. Niall
Mullen looking to see movement inside. Where's he going to go? Cost is going to be an option. He goes back to the midfielder, Ty Colton. Cross to Owen George. George trying to get away from Brian Flanagan. He does. He goes out to the left. He won't. He does. He pops it outside. Coming back again though to John Noonan. Noonan, when they look up, the way he's blocked him. Plenty of Ratheniska men moving across, shifting across to where the ball is. The danger's coming from. Mountmellick not making any inroads at all as Mark Dowling has to step back out again. I suppose once you hold the ball, this could be gone wayward again. Brian Dunn came in there, so too Mark G. Delaney, but they're well up for Ratheniska. Richie Hitchcock, first time ball inside. Who can win this race? Connolly, just nearly broke from. He was nearly going to happen for him, but Owen Keogh was quick out to smother that danger, and they come again out to Owen George, being tackled by Richie Hitchcock up along the line to Mark Dowling. Dowling looks up, being chased now. A couple of Ratheniska men descending on him. Richie McElwee has it now to Noonan. Noonan switches across here to Redmond McAvoy. McAvoy back to Noonan. Noonan, always a big gang and waiting them there from. Fingleton is one. So too is Mark G. Delaney. Free into Seamus Mulhare, and that's as goes high inside to Colin Cost. Cost onto the left boot. Cost only got a shoulder and a free on Colin Cost. So Colin Cost getting plenty of attention, but he's getting a few frees as well, though.
Yeah, he's after winning more. They're after getting more ball into him since the water break. They're bringing it closer up to the 50-yard line before trying to pop the pass into him instead of trying to find him long. A lot of pressure on him there for that, and some of the Ratheniska players obviously questioning the decision of Seamus Mulhare and that, but a free in 24 yards out, just to the right of the goals that Niall Mullen will probably slot. And certainly the Mountmellick supporters will be hoping so, just to try and settle them back into the game here.
Niall Mullen just 24 or 5 by the time he comes. He's nearly to 20 and strokes it over the bar, and it brings it back to 2 points for Mountmellick, but 1 goal and 3 for Park Ratheniska with 24 and a half minutes gone. Yeah,
they're gone with the full press on the kick out again. 4 in the full forward line, and we've a retrieving one here now. Dropping back a small bit, but they're taking a chance on it. Jamie doesn't normally go too long with the kick out, but with the wind he's doing his best to hit. Big Dunn in the middle.
It didn't break out from John Noonan, got the break and it back to Ty Colton now to George and back to Noonan. Owen George has gone outside him. If he picks him, he eventually got it out to him. George on it, out to Cost be tracked up by Mark Delaney. Cost decides to score for himself, and that could be a super score, and that is and that's Colin Cost through and through, and that will really push them on. Chris, they badly needed that Mountmellick.
Yeah, they did. Obviously back to the goal in it now. It's the first time that he got to break out into a bit of space upon his left foot, even though he's only 10 yards in from the terrace sideline, and that he had his range. His shot earlier was with his right foot coming towards the stand. This kick out, Benny has just retrieved it from outside the 21, I should say.
Benny Green got the shot out to Richie Hitchcock. Back to Colin Brennan back to Hitchcock. Mountmellick lads pushing up on him, but Jimmy Langton gets it here under the stand. Now here to Podgestone. Back to Langton. He gets the touch on it. Being chased by John Connolly. Inside it goes to Brian Dunn. Brian Dunn bounces away from him. He got a touch on it though. Waiting aside is Sean Tynan on the right. That's going to drop short. Could be dangerous. Keogh had to come and get a touch on that because there was danger written all over that one. And the crowd are calling. Someone ended up on the ground. Not sure what happened there, but anyway, the crowd are looking for something as Mountmellick play along. On they go. Culleton back to Kai Byrne. Byrne back to Ty Colton. Colton be chased by Jimmy Langton and Simon Fingland. Comes to Richie Hitchcock. Hitchcock breaks out with it. Ratheniska man still on the ground in the square. Podgestone on the goes into Sean Tynan. Tynan gathers that ball lovely. Pops it back to Hitchcock again. Hitchcock out free. There's a man. He's up now again. That Ratheniska man, he's free waiting inside if he gets it, and of course that's Kieran Delaney. Delaney cute comes back in on his right, on his left boot, and gets the score. And
yeah, very good score by Kieran Delaney. It'll be interesting how Seamus Mulhare in this chat with his umpires go. It was the initial shot from Tynan that was half blocked. Keogh came, put his fist to it, caught obviously Delaney, or was it one of the other players initially, with the ball dropping short. Now Owen Keogh did come out with the goals when Mountmellick were going forward with the ball, and he came and pushed Kieran Delaney. Technically it's an off the ball foul in on the square, and it was something that Keogh didn't need to do, but he's got away with it here. Granted, Delaney was down getting treatment. There was a half goal chance if Ratheniska had to find him quick enough when he was back on his feet. But they're pressing again.
The kick out comes and Richie Hitchcock had a touch on it to Connolly. Back with Richie Hitchcock. Try to go back through the middle. Plays it back to Pádraig Dunn. Mark G. Delaney outside here waiting for him. Got man the match in the junior A final at the time, remember? Inside that goes to Kieran Delaney, and that's could be 2 in a row for Delaney. And again, that experience, Chris, that both him and Mark have, you just can't buy that, can you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can see the fact that they're back to 15. He's getting to play more of an attacking role. As I said, as one of those 4 forwards, they rotate very well in the forward line with the 2 wing forwards. Doing a lot of the work. It was Mark G. Delaney again there with the assist upon that one, and Kieran drifting obviously towards the scoreboard and turning in straight away, hooking the shot with his right foot over his shoulder and over the bar. 1-5-3.
On Kyo out with again the really busier the goalkeepers tonight. The breaks, Jimmy Langton got a touch on it. Free set Seamus Mulher on Niall Mullen. Mark G not happy with it. Garrod Hanron had the ball that time, but it goes back to Mullins. Mullins now looking. When they look though, every man is being tracked to within an inch of his life, so there's no one really free coming for it. Mark Downey does come and gets away from his man and being tracked though by Kieran Delaney. Makes him go back to Owen George. George now again outside, it goes to John Noonan first time ball inside. They try to make Colin Cost, but Niall Mullins gets it, but so too is Jimmy Langton now over the sideline. A line ball, said the linesman, and that's the Mountmellick line ball. They'll be looking to play that quick. There's no one really running, so Mullins just decided to drill it in aimlessly enough. Richie Hitchcock had to touch on that though, but that was poor decision, that one there, Chris. That one really wasn't it.
Heading into a crowded area with Hitchcock and sitting in there, and Colin Brennan obviously dropping off his man as well. It's with Podge Dunn now on the far 45 into Connolly.
Yeah, Brian Dunn came out there, got it. He's lively enough for a big man. He's well able to move. Inside to Connolly, out to Mark G. Delaney. Will he go for himself? No. Sean Tiny's coming outside. He didn't play him. He gets the rebound back himself, and that's the next to score by Mark G. Delaney on the second attempt. So
initially a good block. Mark, he took the ball out on his left, but they probably knew he was going to look to step back in on his right. McElwee getting the block, but he picked up the pieces, got in on his right foot, and a good score just from inside the D. Good approach play again by Ratheniska.
2 minutes of additional time as Owen Keogh goes out again along with it. Niall Mullins underneath, so too is Jimmy Langton. Jimmy got a touch on it. Down goes young Ty Culleton. Kept in play by Redmond McAvoy. A line ball to Park Ratheniska. Nothing really going right for Mountmellick at this point, as Simon Fingleton going to take the quick one inside to Connolly. Been really busy tonight. Back to Simon Fingleton. Fingleton goes by his man quite easily. Drops offside. Connolly's up on his left if he needs him, and he does play them. Connolly toe tap. Goes out. The angle does cut off from. Back it comes to Simon. They'll probably be best served to come out with it again, and that's what they're going to do. They do come out to Mark G. He's totally unmarked outside here after scoring one before that. He's going to do the exact same thing. Oh no, it's a wide ball, said the line ball, said the umpire. A bit premature on that, but Mark G was left standing on his own there, Chris, and another mistake by Mountmellick really had
it was as Fingleton took on 2 of the defenders and that with himself and Connolly. They probably maybe should have fisted it over the bar initially from their own perspective, and that Mark Delaney liked the shot when he got it away, but Seamus Mulher has adjudged and the umpires that it went over the post rather than just inside it.
Keogh goes up the other side, the terrace side of it. Richie Hitchcock in the battle there with Mark Dowling. It breaks back to looks like Kai Byrne, is it? No, it's Owen George. Owen George back, and George gets it again. So they're playing back there with it. They need to get up the field to try and get scores on. They're looking and turning. They're being patient, but they're not going after it. And it's Ratheniska lads are able to file back in plenty of time and take up positions. Costano's out here a long way from goal though with it, being tracked by Mark Delaney. He puts it aside as and that was Benny Green there. That was definitely. He wasn't going to get away with that one.
No, he just got a bit too close, obviously, to Finn Culleton and that, who has good pace and that. The ball was obviously aimed for John Connolly inside and that, but Culleton was going to break onto it, and a free in here now from the right hand side that Mullen will take. A little bit surprised maybe that Cost isn't looking after this one, but Mullen normally is deadly accurate.
While Mullen steps up, his team needs this, his club needs this, and over goes, and it does, over the bar, brings it back as injury time, and time is up for a half-time score. and Ratheniska go off to a big applause from their crowd. A big crowd here, so too a big crowd from Mountmellick. Ratheniska a goal and 6, Mountmellick 4 points. Mountmellick just maybe they're we won't say they're lucky, but they've kept themselves in touch. There's a goal and 2. There's only 5 points in it, but again, a night like tonight, Chris, it's going to be hard to get back. But they're not out of it yet, but it's a lot of work to do.
No, they're far from out of it at this stage, and that if they can get quicker ball into Colin Coss and Finn Culleton, you could see them obviously causing maybe Ratheniska a bit more trouble in the second half. They didn't settle at all in the open quarter, no score in it. Obviously, we only had the 1 score from Ratheniska in that quarter as well, even though they had the breeze. But again, the fact that they were down Simon Fingleton definitely had a bearing upon the game. They've got to break forward a bit more. Fingleton and Porrick done since that water break done, obviously resulting in the goal, which has been obviously the main score. Mountmellick did respond to it, but again, Ratheniska have finished the half well with some good play by Mark G. Delaney in particular up front, and obviously Kieran Delaney got a couple in a row in that middle section of the second quarter as well.
And I suppose from the Mountmellick point of view, their kick out is coming, and they're trying to, they're 50-50 balls, they're trying to win the middle of the field, but if they do get a hold of them, they're slow in their build up, so Ratheniska plenty of time to file back in numbers, and then when Ratheniska break, they seem to break an awful lot quicker, Chris, and they're getting more dividends out because their players are staying up and they're hitting the open spaces to the likes of Brian Dunn and Young Connolly and that.
Yeah, no, the difference is the pace break coming out of that half back line, as you say, and I suppose they're getting to use the kick pass that bit quicker as well, Ratheniska, when they're on the ball. The Mountmellick kickouts are being challenged, very well in the air and 50-50s in a lot of cases and that. But certainly, while Owen George has been in a lot of possession, most of it has been in the half back line.
Yeah.
It's involved a couple of plays and then a hand pass rather than a direct ball, which we might see more from them in this second half.
So we're going to take a break. We'll be back to you in a few minutes. This half times normally don't take a whole lot of time, so we'll leave in half time. Park Ratheniska lead the Intermediate Football Championship final, the Laois Shopping Centre won for 2021. The lead in the scoreline, 1 goal and 6 points. The Mountmellick's 4 points. Coming back to you very shortly. Very welcome back to MW Moore Park for the Laois Shopping Centre Intermediate Football Championship Final. We left you at half time. Ratheniska in the lead, 1 goal and 6 points to Mountmellick's 4 points. Apologies earlier on, it was sound, but it won't matter to people at Ratheniska. They don't care who's talking once their team are scoring, and that's what they've been doing, Chris. And they really were value for that lead, weren't they? They played some really good football in trying conditions.
Yeah, no, they have. As I say, they've broke with more pace out of the back line. They've probably got the upper hand in the midfield exchanges, not in terms of winning clean possession necessarily from kickouts, but in terms of breaking ball and that. And they have that space up front with Brian Flanagan dropping in from his wing forward position. Mark G. Delaney drops out and then back in. And as I said, they like to keep Connolly closer to goals, but the other four forwards are Tynan, Dunn, and Kieran Delaney can rotate from any position.
We're ready with the throw in, and Seamus Miller gets underway. Straight goes. Colin Cross won that cleanly. No one even tackled him. Maybe there was a decision there to let him have it. He goes long with it. Kicks aside there. That's working out well. John Noonan trying to make up there. He might not have the legs to get it. Maybe he will. He does. Be tracked out by Delaney going out and back it comes him. But that ball is really intercepted handily there by Brian Flanagan and Richie Hitchcock, Simon Fingleton out to Podge Dunn. But that ball has gone wayward. No free though, said the referee. Pádraig Dunn got it onto Jimmy Langton. Langton finds himself up a bit far up the field to Brian Dunn. Brian Dunn inside to Brian Flanagan. Flanagan gets a kick on Keogh. Is going to be able to deal with that one. There's a drop short to him. And Mountmellick come on the attack again. Ratheniska pushed up on him, trying to get them under pressure there, and they have done so far as Mark Dowling gets out for Ratheniska. The Mountmellick man trying to get it, gets fouled in the process. Richie Hitchcock pleads his innocence there, but Mulhair's not having any in this occasion, and Mark Downing's remained on the ground there, holding on to someone. Looks like his hand or as the physio comes across to give him some aid. Ty Colton is going to get it underway for them.
And George is still feeling the effects of the tackle here from this side as well. And
that came back there, that was Stephen Lynch took it, or it came back here to Darren Fitzpatrick. The player still on the ground there, Darren Fitz. Shook off his marker this time. Colin in the low ball aside. Can Finn Colton get it? It slips away for the grass there, but you can already see the intention there. Chris, Mountmellick know they have a job to do and they're trying to get it done as soon as possible.
Get trying to get the direct ball again, but obviously they would prefer if it was Culleton winning it outside and Cospin the target inside, and that one obviously drifting by Culleton. He had Benny on the half turn, but again conditions didn't allow. We've seen a couple of them with Ratheniska as well, obviously drifting out over the end line and that with the wind. Then Mark Dowling still getting treatment over on the far side. They have Mullen on this side of the field now, back on the stand side again. They had him switched for the first half, and that whether that was to escape the clutches of Richie Hitchcock and that he mightn't have as much tracking to do, time will only tell in that, but I would imagine he will set up on this side of the field a lot more for this half, possibly even in 15 and working from there in on his favourite right boot.
Ratheniska go, the lads line up in the middle, they stack it up, they go, but that's come as Owen George got a claim on that one. If he looks inside, his player's free. One of them is Niall Mullen. Mullen comes back into the middle. Mullen has a go, that's going to drop short. Downey has that to come out. Colin Cost going in there. Costa's side goes to ground. Big crowd from the cheer from the crowd, but that's not going to persuade Seamus Mulhair. And Ratheniska got away with that one. It comes out to Jimmy Langton. They're going to try and clear the lines. Niall Mullen stands up in front of him. A tough tackle from Mullen. Jimmy Langton goes to ground. Caught for over carrying there. Carried it into the tackle, Chris, when he probably should have got rid of it. Yeah,
Mullen done well, obviously standing him up on the earlier attack. Mullen had John Connolly inside on his own. Didn't look in, obviously stepped in on his right foot as I expected. Had the shot, but Jamie got to keep it out from behind the line. Broke out in front of Coss. No foul given, but a free given here, and it has just tailed wide.
Yeah, it's just gone to the left and wide from Niall Mullins. And it did, and the wind caught that there at the end of it. So Jamie Downey will breathe a sigh of relief there. A little bit of action. He's had more action in the last couple of minutes than he had in all the first half. So he just gathered his breath as Ratheniska lads stack up in the middle and then go running in all directions. Mountmellick are trying to cover that kick out by having people in zones, and it comes back to Niall Mullins, who finds himself free again. Popped to say Owen George wasn't able to stay going with that. Came outside here to John Connolly. Connolly trying to go back to the middle, but Ratheniska are there in numbers, and one of them is Simon Fingleton out here to Pádraig Dunn, and Dunn skips away from quite easy for Ty Colton, and on he goes. He's looking for Brian Dunn, the brother, but he picks out Sean Tynan. Tynan went the ground there, broke back to Darren Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick be chased by Kieran Delaney. Delaney now, but it comes out to Owen George. George on here now to Robbie. Richie McElwee, it went out of his hands, but they didn't regain possession. Mark Dowling goes in long and high. Who's inside the back there? Can they get it? Cost got it, came on the ground inside. Was Richie Hitchcock back to pick it up. The Livy Day this year, Ratheniska at the moment, but they're coping well with it as Jimmy Langton breaks out outside to Kieran Delaney. Delaney back to Fingleton. Fingleton looking for the space. Podge is behind him if he needs it. Goes. John Noonan just pulled him back there, and John is pleading innocent, but referee is going to deal with that one, I think, as well.
Yeah, Seamus has the book out. It'll probably be a yellow on that. Just on the initial ball, it looked like Cost might have been about to get his hands upon it after it broke in over himself and Mark Delaney, but it was Josh Mulhall swept very well from the opposite corner, coming around behind. We'll see Fingleton here. He likes to take on the man. He stepped inside, and you can see Noonan coming in over the shoulder. Naturally, some Ratheniska supporters might claim it was a pull down, but I think Seamus got it right with the yellow.
Simon Fingan up better. He's going to take the impending free that he got there. Looking up to see where he's going to go as Brian Flanagan tries to make space. He's going to go across Richie Hitchcock. Again, Mountmellick are up on their players. Goes inside to Mark G. Delaney. Dropped out his hands though. That's a slippery on there tonight. The two Mountmellick can descend on him. He gets by them to Jimmy Langton. Langton got up the wing there, passing Stephen Lynch. Drops over his control, gets it back again. Back to the danger man, young Connolly. He goes inside Connolly. That ball is blocked. Good break inside there. Who's going to get it? Sean Tynan has it. Tynan turns to the boot. Couldn't get a kick away. Mark Delaney or Kieran Delaney's in there. He's helter-skelter there for everyone as eventually Richie McElwee gets his hands on him. Mountmellick get to clear their lines and they can breathe a sigh of release at this point, and it goes as Finn Cullerton gets the body check and gets around his man and more importantly gets onto the ball, going heading for the goal. Be tackled though by Benny Green is after him. It breaks out there. It didn't go to Cost, and out comes Mark Delaney playing super there tonight. They're doing a massive job on Colin Cost, but doing a great job here and free and win the free, and that's Mark Delaney really coming to the fore there again, Chris, as you expect.
He done very well as he read Finn Cullerton's intentions when he broke forward with the ball, that he was looking for Cost peeling off the shoulder, but Mark got the hand on it, got to retrieve it, and Julie got a free out then coming across the square, and that Colin Cost and some of the Mountmellick supporters not too happy about the free out, but it is what it is, and it's still 1-6-4.
Podge done on to Simon Fingleton. Fingleton goes around his man, gets around Ty Cullerton and gets around John Noonan as well for the second time. Noonan tried to tackle him. He got away with it. Done there. His jersey pulled. Referee says waves on play and puts the first time aside to young Connolly. James Connolly turns around. Lovely ball aside to Tynan. Tynan on his right and goes for the point. A good score by Tynan. The goal might have been on it, but if you're a manager, you'd be happy he takes the point, Chris.
It pushes them 6 in front again, and that I dare say if the scoreboard was different, he may have went low with it. But super approach play by Ratheniska again. It was Simon Fingleton taking a couple of challenges, shipping it on to his midfield partner Pádraig Dunn, got it into Connolly, and a lovely reverse pass by Connolly into Tynan over the bar.
Richie McElwee just got to pick up, be chased up by Brian Dunn. Jimmy Langton was touching it, came across to Noonan first time and gets the score back for them, and maybe that's the score that the Mountmellick need to lift them, but they probably do need to start doing something shortly, Chris.
1-7-5 as I say. Noonan took the ball in the centre forward position and a good score, able to clip it, as I say. In the first half he wouldn't have been able to have that shot. He was ending up taking the ball on. Jamie doesn't tend to have major distance on his kickouts, good accuracy, but this one held up in the wind and Mountmellick have it on the terrace.
Cost puts it across the field though. Who's going to come to Niall Mullen? Mullen tries to go around Jimmy Langton. Niall Mullen gets on the right boot, and Niall Mullen, and that's 2 points in quick succession, Chris, and you can see Mark Delaney having a word there with his goalkeeper. Certainly not happy, and I'm sure Kieran Kelly will be asking maybe to slow down and not be so anxious the next time.
Yeah, as I say, Jamie, he tends to be very accurate with the kick out without getting major distance on it, and that one obviously held up in the wind very much so out towards the terrace side. This time, you can see with the full press that Mountmellick are going with it, it's hard for him to get away short with it.
And out it comes to the middle here. Podge Dunn is underneath, but Fingleton gathers that no one near him at all, and he got it nicely touched on it inside. It's first thing to Kieran Delaney. Delaney hits out, being chased by Fitzpatrick. He gets away, hand in the air. Kieran Delaney turns around, but that's gone to the right and wide, and Seamus Mulhare bring it back for the advantage. He accrued the 5 seconds, wasn't gone, so Ratheniska get a break from the referee on this occasion, Chris.
Yeah, no, the free in on this one, as I say. It's interesting, you see that with refs sometimes. Kieran, he got away with steps whilst being fouled, so it's a double advantage.
Yeah, exactly. So James Connolly won't mind this exciting young player again this year, and with his left boot, and that's straight over the bar, and it takes him out to a goal and 8 points. Park Ratheniska, 6 points to Mountmellick. Nearly just coming up on 40 minutes gone. It's 10 minutes the second half gone, 20 minutes left the second half plus any injury. Owen Keogh goes longing with the kick out, goes over Cullerton and all, but breaks to Noonan. John Noonan be tracked though by Colin Brennan. He makes him turn around at Noonan though. Accurate enough inside the goals that Colin Cost gets a hold, that goes back to the middle, tries to get one or two players being dragged back by Mark Delaney, and if ever there's a free to give away, I suppose, Chris, that's the one to give away and give it out there.
Yeah, certainly. So I think was it Richie Hitchcock, the two of them, or Young Mulhall, the two of them had a go at fouling them.
Yeah.
And it was Mark with the second one.
Yeah.
I'd say the yellow card that's been applied is to Mark, and that, which again Cost will try and play on that for the remainder of the match, the last 20 minutes. He is their target man, and as I say, Mark will just have to be a bit more careful with the tackling from now on.
Niall Mullins, 22 or 3 metres out, steps up to the right and puts it over the bar.
Yeah, they're hanging in there, Mountmellick and that, but again, if Ratheniska can keep the scoreboard ticking over like they have in the first 10 minutes of this second half, they'll be happy enough, and we'll be hoping to keep to the fore.
That looks
Joe
like
Redden coming in.
Yeah, and not a bad man to bring into your team, Chris, you know what I mean?
He started the initial games in the championship and that, and coming into the middle of the net to add more force and that, picking up Podge Dunn, who has had a massive influence upon the game so far.
Steve Lynch seems to be making away from him. So it goes out, but it came straight away to Colton, picked on by Jimmy Langton. The space opens up for him, and Jimmy uses the pace. The whole sea, the Red Sea opens up, pops it across to Brian Dunn. Dunn goes with his own score, an extra score, and that's that as quick as you'll get, Chris, from goalie out to Fingleton on, and 1, 2, 3, that's how you do it. Yeah,
Fingleton has won a few of those balls in the pocket of the middle area, and that onto Langton. He can break forward at great pace onto Dunn. Dunn, as I say, could have used James Connolly if he wished. Took the point.
Ball breaks to Owen George. George now heading down. George on the left boot. Owen George, and will that go? And that goes over the bar. So, while we had very little scores in the first half, or certainly the early part of it, Chris, the momentum is changing. Both teams now really going at it.
Yeah, the game has opened up and that, and you can see, I suppose Mountmellick know that they have to really go for it. Ratheniska, the last two scores they've got to put the two from play over the bar when the goal chances were on.
Jamie Downey goes out with it, Podge Dungan on it, but Darren Fitz was straight onto it. Darren tries to get up to ground, being tackled by 3-4 men. Ball goes to ground. It breaks back though to Ty Colton. Colton back to Redden. Redden back to Owen George. George goes in with that silent ball in there to Cost. Cost goes to ground though. No freeze to the referee. Who's going to win the Mark G. Delaney? Great tackle by him, great shoulder, and he won that. Pops outside to Hitchcock. Hitchcock on to Kieran Delaney. Delaney now gets away with it. Straight inside the goals. Gerard Hanrahan is out. He gets a touch on in front of Sean Tynan. Goes over the line though off Gerard Hanrahan. And Ratheniska looking to move it quickly. They do. Inside it goes to Brian Dunn. Brian comes back. Turns back inside, goes back to the middle, might get onto the right boot, being tackled by one or two of them, pops inside to Connolly. Connolly back out to Sean Tynan. Tynan, great block though by Redmond McAvoy. It breaks out again though, comes out to Pádraig Dunn. Pádraig Dunn has a snapshot at it though, and goes to the right and wide, and Kieran Kelly won't be happy with that, Chris, you know what I mean?
It was better pressure applied by the Mountmellick defence, and that it was obviously Brian Dunn with the run first, tried it into Connolly, came back out, and they got the block on it. They're gone short to Noonan here with the kick out in the centre back position. He's gone to Cullerton.
Yeah, Cullerton get on it, being chased by Benny Green. He goes to ground, no free, up he comes again. Cullerton did really well there to get that, to win those Back he comes. He go on his side. Benny Green tackle him. So is Jimmy Langton. He looked to come back out. There's 2 players behind him. Connolly's one. So is Mullins. Mullins thought about a shot. He made himself in the better position. Turned around the right. Super score by Niall Mullins, Chris, has to be said.
Yeah, back to a goal, and that Culleton done really well after the ball. Good ball out from George to Noonan. Direct ball. Culleton had to work twice for it. Came up with it. Through the hands of Connolly, out to Mullen. He feigned to kick, as I say, back on his right foot, on his favourite side. They probably would have been better off playing him on his natural side in the first half as well.
Jamie Downey out with it, out long. Podge Dunn is underneath, so too's Redden makes it awkward, breaks out of Simon Fingleton, be tacked by John Noonan. Back to Colin Brennan outside to Mark G. Delaney. Mark tries to get it. Who's get it? Inside to Kieran Delaney. Delaney now being tracked by Ty Colton. Colton makes a turn back, but Kieran dances by them inside to Jimmy Langton. Jimmy hand in the air to the referee as Kieran Delaney got fouled after that ball unnecessarily there by Redmond McAvoy. Kieran will take his time, and he's going down to referee, and maybe a little bit winded by ending up on the ground there, but
probably taking the sting out of the game too, using his experience.
Yeah. And that's what you do, and you wonder where he learned that with Brendan the father. You know what I mean? He'll but tough time. Kieran Delaney in it goes straight inside to that bounce over the head. Though Sean Tiny is able to get his height on it, pops it aside to Pádraig Dunn. Pádraig Dunn bearing down the goal. He comes aside, dances right and left. Great save by Owen Keogh. Absolute super save by him. He had to be big there. Simon. As Brian Flanagan goes out to the line, wins the free, back inside to Connolly, danger now from Mountmellick, and Connolly turns around, and a super score by James Connolly, and he looks to be away more than his years. Chris really looks so experienced there.
Yeah, it played really well for them, and a super score, because what it does is, obviously, apart from the great save by Dunn, it was Tynan who came and won it. Offload with Dunn powering through the middle again. Big man, hard man to stop. 2 tackles. Weren't able to do it. This one, Keogh got out that bit closer to him. He's very good at coming off his line. The initial one in the first half, Dunn got to slip it low underneath him. This one, Keogh stood up to, but from the sideline ball, they got the ball to Connolly, and a super score here out of between the 10 and 13 position for them. And it means that they leave something with the attack, and that scoreboard is still ticking over 1-10-9.
So it's back to 4 points game. It was 3 there a minute ago. And Connolly, James Connolly's super score there, but after a fantastic save from Owen Keogh, you would have thought that might spur Mountmellick on, and I'm sure Gordon Lawler will be looking for those things to inspire his team. They have been just on the back foot for all this game, really, Chris, I suppose, but the quarter, the start of the second half, they really upped their tempo, but Ratheniska have upped it as well with them, haven't they?
Yeah, no, they have, and as I say, Jamie, the initial kickouts and that, they may have struggled a small bit, but he's after finding Simon Fingleton a number of times in the pocket, whilst Mountmellick are going with the press. They're not necessarily going man to man, apart from on Dunn now with Ger Redden in the middle of the field, and Fingleton was the one that was coming up with a number of those kickouts, and they got away with some good early attacks. It's a substitution now. Mark Ramsbottom, he has done well coming in off the bench here in the junior final, and against us the last day in the semi-final as well. He'll add legs to the team here in the half-forward position for Brian Flanagan.
So they're in, and Kieran Kerry down there talking to Pat Brennan, of course. Tomas Moore there, the guru's down there for Park Ratheniska. Of course, he's normally up here doing commentary for us, so they've an anxious 15 minutes ahead of them, but they lead by 14 points. So Keogh goes by 4 points, sorry. They go out to kick out, and Richie Hitchcock picks up the kick out straight inside to Kieran Delaney. Delaney now just inside the 40-metre line. He's still going for goal, being tracked by Darren Fitz. He's staying going. He turns back around, goes onto his right boot. That's a dangerous ball. It's fast. Owen Keogh's under. He gets a touch on the Keogh. Breaks outside though. Who's going to get it? It looks like Mark Ramsbottom on it. Outside to Brian Dunn. Brian Dunn with the kick. And straight over the bar. And that was Mark Ramsbottom, a vital little touch there, as you said, the pace he used to get on that ball.
just to get on it, get his hands on it, and that again, the quick offload with the left hand to Dunn, and Dunn slipped it over the bar for his second score of the second half. Keogh got a good fist on it, but probably didn't get it away as much. That's all he could do with under pressure from Tynan with the high ball dropping in.
Owen Keogh goes out long. Who's underneath there? Colton got a touch in, but a brace again to Brian Dunn. Been really busy all night inside to Mark. To Ramsbottom. Mark, he gets away from Ger Redden, fouled on this occasion, and back it goes to Simon Fingleton. They're always looking for the quick option, and players are always running and moving. There's always options there. Back out to Ramsbottom again. Goes back to the middle to Richie Hitchcock. Hitchcock is Mark G outside free. This could be a score gone on. He goes back into the middle, turns around, gets his shot on, and at this stage you can see Ratheniska man on the thing, but even on their frees, Chris, they're moving them so quick, and players go immediately to the free space and are always available.
Exactly,
that's
drifting, creating space down the middle. Do you know what I mean? For runners or whatever the case may be. And this time it was Delaney coming in on his right foot. Just as after he's stepping back in on his right foot, it looks like a bit of cramp, and that goes straight away after he stopped. He went down, but he got the score, which pushed it back out to 6 points again, 112-9. And you know, as they're making a foray for home, Sean Tynan probably here will be booked here now. Owen Keogh was going short with the kick out. He was coming out, drifting out from behind him after trying to help Mark Delaney. Relieved the tension in his calf. It looks like a substitution now as the physio calls it. But Tynan blocked a quick kick out and a yellow card applied.
So it's gone out to 6 points now. Ratheniska in the lead. Park Ratheniska comes across there to Joe Redden back into Noonan. John Noonan inside there to Coss. Mark Delaney, Colin Coss gets around inside him, comes back though, but it's 3 or 4 Ratheniska in his way. Out it comes to Mark Dowling back to Coss with the right boot, and Coss puts it over the bar.
Yeah, spinning onto his right and that, he had the advantage after being fouled initially and that, but again, winning that high ball in, and as I say, getting to get his shot away that bit quicker in this half with the wind in his back.
You would have to probably say this term, Chris, that if Mountmellick will need that goal, won't they?
Yeah, certainly looks so. And Sean Tierney coming in now here for Ratheniska for Mark G. Delaney. He picked up a knock, as I say, a bit of cramp on that last play. Has played very well here for the 49 minutes that he's been out there. Sean Tierney obviously played wing back here in the junior final and wing forward in the initial rounds. Been injured for the semi-final of the intermediate championship.
Sean Tierney, and a super player, lovely fella, and great to see him on. But Niall Mullins wants to get his team back in on terms as Noonan puts it outside to Colton. Colton side to Mullins. Mullins goes through a whole team of Ratheniska men. Some of them fouled him. They seem to be amused to see who that might have been, but anyway, they're their numbers, Chris. That's the thing.
Yeah, it looks like Mark Ramsbottom on that occasion, whether it was just for a little slap into the ribs. Didn't seem to be a whole lot more in it.
I think Jimmy Langton was just giving Seamus a
little bit of
advice.
Having a word, and questions been raised and that, but Seamus's answer was to go on under 15 yards with it to the 21.
Niall Mullins won't mind as he turns and pops it over the bar. There's still 10 minutes in this game. It now goes back to a 4-point game. Plenty to play for. Mountmellick won't give up. They've been a strong team all year, been unbeaten. So too Park Ratheniska, and it's a ding-dong battle so far. 4 points in it now. Still 10 minutes to go with any injury time that may be added as Jamie Downey puts down the ball, taking his time to see.
Mountmellick just probably have to find some other scores. You know, they've been reliant on Coss and Mullen all year, and it's that way again. And Ratheniska have a fair idea if they can tag those two men for the remainder of the game, bar a goal. The title will probably be there.
Richie Hitchcock was fouled in the quick free inside to Kieran Delaney, who stayed free. He's gone away from Redden. The ball bounced away to him on the ground there. Garrod Hanrahan there to get touches. So too does Tynan. That's gone out for 45 instead of Garrod Hanrahan. And Park Ratheniska won't mind ticking down the clock.
Yeah, they had the overlap there, obviously, after Hitchcock getting it up to Delaney again. Mountmellick going with the press. But when Ratheniska come up with the kick out, they're able to find their men on the half-hour line. He had Mark Ramsbottom ahead of him, chose not to use him, and ultimately it has resulted in a 45, but there could have been bigger spiles on for Ratheniska there.
Fingleton went short. He tried to get it to Brian Dunn, and Brian Dunn won it between two players. Turns on his right. Brian Dunn turns around. Owen Keogh is going to deal with that, though. It drops nicely for him. Colton's outside. Owen George outside him. He stayed going Keogh, but didn't get the ball back. Owen George is going back to the goal. It's dangerous play by them. They still haven't come out. Mountmellick, they want to get it out. Here it comes to Colton. He's been tackled now by Simon Fingleton. Colton back to Redden. They've made no ground yet as Kai Byrne gets tackled back. They're free, thankfully, says Mountmellick. They're not moving as quick as Ratheniska, and they're delaying the way they move the ball, but they got on here to Noonan. Noonan can't get enough space, and that does get a touch on it. No, he doesn't. Was out on the line. There was Richie McElwee, wasn't able to get a touch on the ball. So
Yeah, you could see the pressure had been applied, as I say, by Ratheniska and that, and Mountmellick not able to get away with the kick and going with a long sort of 50-50 here, and obviously the line, the ball won the race to the line instead of Richie McElwee.
Richie Hitchcock going long, high with it, breaks Rams bottom. They got a touch to Darren Fisk. Kieran Delaney went in there free out. So Seamus Mulhare. Redmond McElwee trying to get it going. Seamus Mulhare tells him, brings the ball up anyway, as Darren Fitz has to start it all over again. The Mountmellick crowd trying to get behind their team. Owen Keogh has gone out there, and that's dangerous as Sean Tierney gets on the ball there. That could have been really dangerous. Just gone back. Sean was getting his time to come up. Mountmellick men are moving back off them, not putting the pressure. Sean Tynan has it now. Still maintains control of the ball. Goes into 2 or 3 men. Mountmellick men in around him, over carrying on Sean Tynan. And Mountmellick want to get it going quickly. And here they come out here to Owen George. George be tackled though by Mark Ramsbottom. Not making any headway. He does now. He gets around the man. Has he the legs? though? He hasn't. He moves the ball on. That's Mark Dowling still going. Intercepted though by Colin Brennan. They stood tough there, and Sean Tierney has it now out to Brian Dunn. Brian Dunn has really been busy the whole night, in fairness to him. Really stayed going. Super stuff behind, pops to the side to the brother Podge. These have been a great duo tonight, and they go, and Pádraig Dunn puts it over the bar, and
great combination play by Ratheniska. Again, the 2 forwards, or the 2 brothers, again combining. It's not the first time, and ended up with the score off the left foot there by Pádraig Dunn in the middle.
Stephen Knowles coming in for Sean Tynan. These young lads want to certainly want to track from the Ratheniska team. Sean Tynan has left it all out there, Chris, for them. Great shift for them.
Absolutely big shift, and that took a big hit there off Mark Dowling on the last turnover and that. But whilst heading back down the field, Ratheniska got to turn it over again.
Ty Colton got that freeze to the referee. Owen George has it now. Mountmellick need to start doing something quickly inside the cross, but
Culleton has to take it as it's a mark that's been given rather than a free on this occasion.
Still 5 minutes to go, but it's Ratheniska who lead. 1 goal and 13 points. Mountmellick's 11 points. 5 points in it. Redden again inside. They're playing cost. They've tried it every which way tonight for them. Colin comes back on the right, slipping to the ground. Another excellent score by Colin Coss.
Super score, and that slipping, as you say, with the outside of the boot on the 50-yard line, and that a great score by him. But unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be a green flag that Mountmellick are going to have to raise to try and get back into the game. 4 points in it. Maybe there is a surge left in them.
So Keane Thompson comes in from Mountmellick. He didn't start. He was picked on the programme to start. He comes in for Redmond McAvoy. So Keane Thompson joining the fray as Jamie Downey goes to kick out the ball. 55 minutes gone. 5 minutes left. Ratheniska ahead. Redden goes for it. Drops. Pádraig Dunn is in there. But so too is his Finn Culleton. Been impressive here tonight, in fairness to Finn. He's tried his hardest, but Richie Hitchcock gets his hands on that one, pumps it across to Benny Green. Benny Green back to Kieran Delaney, who's back there helping his back line. Out it comes to Hitchcock. Hitchcock dances around, but goes out over the line, and they move on. Mountmellick with a quick ball inside to get to Cost again. Cost caught it, but Seamus Mulhare is bringing it back for an infringement on the kick, I think.
They just played on with the ball, John Noonan, when he was in on the field, and that, so it's a throw up. For the discretion of taking the sideline ball in on the
Finn Culleton is inside now, getting cramp. Finn Culleton for Mountmellick as Colin Cost goes to help him, and so too it is Mark Delaney helps him with the other leg.
Both legs, and that we've seen a lot of it lately, and that between
heavy ground with a big schedule as well. Chris, these lads have done a lot, and of course for Park Ratheniska, as I said, they haven't stopped all year. They've been going from game to game, week on week, I suppose. Well, not week on week, but they've really been.
When they were out in the hurling, some of them and that, and obviously the junior was probably a help to them. They probably bounced into the season a bit fitter than other teams and that, with something to aim for.
So our Ratheniska going to get back to senior. This has been some fairy tale story to do. It could win two championships in one year.
Yeah.
Okay, we know it was COVID, but anyway, Mountmellick haven't gone yet. Joe Redden wins that throw in from Seamus Mulhare, pops it over across there. Mark Dowling trying to get onto it. He does. He's tracked up by Richie Hitchcock. He's forced him to kick it high and long and everything. And Finn Coulton's still on the ground. So too though, but it comes back here though. Inside Mountmellick, Niall Mullins was caught on the wrong side. Just overshot the pass there.
Yeah,
there
Ty
was a
Culleton.
chance.
Yeah, it was Ty Culleton who broke forward onto the breaking ball. It was a good diagonal ball in by Mark Dowling. Culleton, though, the hand pass was just over hit to Mullen, and he was going backwards trying to retrieve it with the flick.
Finn Coulton's coming off the field. And that's 22. Dara Hanlon is coming on for Mountmellick. Out it goes again. Up it goes. Podge Dunn wins for it. Broke it. Free in. He's gone to the ground and injured. But he's put in some work again, Chris. There.
Yeah,
for his team.
he's put in a massive shift in that, and obviously has come up with two key scores. Obviously, the goal obviously been the difference of the match as the game has played out for most of the entirety.
Richie Hitchcock gets the ball. And it goes into Jimmy Langton. Jimmy Langton hits the ground, and Niall Mullins, I think, already knows maybe what's coming here.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah. Whether it was intentional or not is the thing that obviously
I'm sure they'll be judging it on the first few minutes. I'm sure they're judging that, and that's what he does. And Mountmellick's night was bad, but now it's got even worse, Chris.
Yeah, we had one obviously in the third minute, and I suppose there's about 3 or 4 minutes left to play here now. And the second black card, it was Jimmy Langton bursting forward, this time obviously 35 yards out. And Niall Mullen has obviously supplied 7 scores for Mountmellick and he definitely would have been one of their men that they would have been hoping maybe to come up with a goal in the last few minutes. That threat obviously abated now.
Jimmy Langton down, being tended to, probably getting a well-earned break as well. Jimmy put in massive pace there tonight to that game. He was missing for most of the junior championship but came back, and Jimmy will stay going till the bitter end, and they really, as Kieran Delaney, another man of a huge experience, but got some valuable points in the first half, Chris. Really
just to push out the lead after the goal, to push it out to the 5-point lead that they had at half time.
Kieran Delaney stepping up. Just 40, that's dropping short. Who's going on? The Brian Dunn pulls on it. O'Carroll got a touch on it. Bombing around the square. Richie McAleby gets on it. So too Darren Fitz out to Owen George. George comes out here to Redden. Redden out trying to get it up the field to Darren Fitz. Fitz onto Mark Dowling. Dowling onto Fitz again. Pádraig Dunn got a touch on it though. A free, says Seamus Mulhare. So there's 4 minutes.
4 minutes to play and 4 points in it.
4 minutes with 4 points. Yeah, it's not unheard of, but the way it's been going, you'd think it would be impossible. But who knows? On George onto Redden. Redden going to go. Went, but he met by Brian Dunn. And
they have the overlap here now if they use it.
And here comes that's their, of course, number. That's young Knowles. Inside to Brian Dunn. Brian Dunn settles it. Goes by 1 or 2. Pops outside. No to Stephen. Comes back to Simon Fingerland. Fingerland trying to make space himself. Still gets away. Dances through 1 or 3. Goes to the ground. Draws the free. And you can see them there that.
The free in and that James Connolly will probably come in, although he is limping. He might just leave it to Kieran Delaney.
And I can see number 22, David McAvoy, is on the sideline to come in there. David, as we know, his brother got married today, and they're all at the wedding in Newbridge. So his brother can get married, but David's going to come on here, maybe win a medal for his team. Of course, his uncle Seamus played with Portlaoise and all that, but true and true Ratheniska man, David McAvoy, and that's super for him and his family that he's able to come on today, and
I'm sure they're tuned in from where they are, and it'll make their night as well.
So the time ticking down for them, Ratheniska, everything has worked really well for them as Jimmy Langton makes way, Chris, and they've, their game plan from Kieran Kelly and Tomas Moore and Brendan and them has been superb, really, hasn't it, Chris?
Yeah, no, it has worked for them, as I say, keeping that space up front. and that, you know, it obviously it took them a while to settle, but certainly the black card didn't help them in the open quarter, and they roared into the game in the second quarter.
And Kieran, over the bar it goes, and they're going to make another substitution. Ratheniska are in Owen Keogh. I can see DJ O'Connell, another player who was part. I think he's gone on. The linesman's going to bring him off, but anyway, Mountmellick are going to try to stay going. Joe Redden with a big long ball inside there, but Richie Hitchcock's under net. Richie Hitchcock goes to close and claims that really easily. Taken off by Coss. No, said the referee. Free out.
On the defensive mark. Good claim by Hitchcock there. James Connolly is limping around and trying DJ O'Connell trying to get in for him and taking it inside. And that young Connolly, a great game for them as well.
Oh yeah, super, absolutely. James Connolly, superb. DJ Connell, as I said, his son of Tommy's there, a lad who was plagued by injury last year, superb underage player with them, and it's great to see him on the pitch. As Ratheniska come and they're going to play the clock out, which seems to be only inevitable now this stage, Chris, that they're going to be senior for next year, but we'll play it out and give respect to Mountmellick, who's still in the game here, as the ball breaks to David McAfee, gives it back to Richie Hitchcock, and Hitchcock comes across here to Pádraig Dunn, who's really been electric tonight for his team from start to finish, and goes back again to another man who's played really well at Fingleton, even though he wasn't on the pitch for the whole length of the game though, but he's been superb for them, and they're going to play the clock down and they come around. Mountmellick try in vain to get the ball off him, but I suppose when you're on top and you're ahead, Chris, it's so hard to get that ball back.
When you're chasing the ball and that, and obviously they're down a man for the last few minutes. Great switch pass here, and off the post, nearly ended up in the back of the net. DJ O'Connell following it in, and soccer styles it over the bar.
And that's a superb thing for them at the end. DJ O'Connell puts it over the bar as Knowles had a go at it, came off the post. Keogh goes out to Joe Redden. David McAfee goes out to try and get the ball off him. He gets by him though. Redden's staying going. So they go up the field. Mountmellick won't be senior next year. It looks like at this stage they won't give up. Noonan goes in long. Coss is aside with two players on him. Coss wins that, staying going. Will he get the touch on it? It's easy dealt with. Jamie Downey bops off him, comes out. I said the referee is not too far away from blowing the whistle. 10 seconds left, and Richie Hitchcock breaks out to Simon Fingleton. Everything went right for Ratheniska tonight. Back to Knowles, back to Fingleton, and the full-time whistle is gone. And the whole of Ratheniska and Park and the whole lot around them are absolutely unbelievable. And that's been, Chris, we'll talk about the match in a minute, but that's been some fairy tale story for Park Ratheniska. Junior A champions in this year, and now to go on to win intermediate and going to be senior next year.
Yeah, and it's an amazing achievement, you know, for the small club. Obviously a proud jewel club as well, and you'd have to say hats off to them and that for the achievements. As I say, certainly the momentum of the junior victory a couple of months ago carried into their intermediate campaign. The initial quarter here, they were a bit tentative in that, a bit like they were probably in that junior final. They played a bit with the handbrake on, but they certainly let it off, as I say, when they got back to parity with their 15 men with Simon Fingleton back on the field, and it certainly played out that way. 1-15 to 12 points here, and certainly worth their victory, and back senior on status.
Absolutely, and I know lads would have talked, there was previews of this match before, and again, you know, Ratheniska Park, would you see them next year on the scene? They certainly want to look out of place to play like they did tonight. But Kieran Kelly has done a superb job with Brendan there and Tomas Moore, of course. Normally a commentator up here, but they've really done a fantastic job out there, Kieran. And just as you said earlier to me off air, after they won the junior, the shackles seemed to come off them and they played with freedom, the whole Park Ratheniska lads, and they really, really are enjoying their football.
Yeah, no, you'd have to hand it to them. As I said, the two boys on the Pike Road down from Pedigree, you know, the double act of Kieran and Tomas, you know, they've come together and they've hatched a super plan for Ratheniska and that, and you know, it's the second trophy they're bringing back to Ratheniska. As I say, Brendan there obviously with them as well. Yeah. They're on the sidelines doing Trojan work down through the years and that, and really, you know, you look down through the team, there's a great blend of youth and experience in it. And as I said, I suppose definitely from the junior final, Simon Fingleton was new to them for the year, and he's been superb for them throughout.
And of course, 1997 they were relegated by Ballerone Abbey. They won't want to any, but this, all that's forgotten about. They've been a good few years out of senior. But let's talk about Mountmellick. They just weren't able to get the grips them from the off. They're going to be hugely disappointed, but I think they will even observe on the night that they were beaten by the better team. They just really didn't have many answers to them.
Yeah, I don't think they can have any complaints upon the night and that, and great credit to Gordon Lawler and his team, the work that they've done during the year as well. They've played, some outstanding football. Tonight wasn't their night. As I said, they were still relying on the double act of Coss and Mullen up front and that for their main attacking threat and that, and they probably fell on that sword and that, and they just Ratheniska were able to sit in, particularly in the first half. Even though they were against the wind, they sat in and they nullified the threat of the early ball into Coss and that, which Mountmellick got no joy out of in the first half, a bit more in the second half and that. But they'll be back. They'll be back next year again, obviously fighting for the honours. And they're not too far away. That injection of youth that they've had as well. Yeah. They'll all have another year under the belt and the experience of tonight as well.
All that will stand him, as you said, and hopefully there'll be no player they'll all stick with it, you know what I mean? Maybe a few players have played a lot of football at this stage. I know there would be 5 or 6 of them were probably on that panel or even played in 2006 when Gordon was the captain when the last, and Jerry Flaherty was the manager at that time. Hopefully let's stick with it because there's still a lot there for Mountmellick to do and win. But just on the night, as you said tonight, they come up against a really fired up Ratheniska team, but they got the space. They made it, either created or were given it, but they really, and they paid real dividends. And you could go through them all, every line. There was superb displays, but the two Delaney's in particular were fantastic. Mark had a job to do on Coss. He got the better most of the game, I suppose. Colin, maybe towards the end of Colin got a few off him, but him and then Kieran, the steady head in the first half, got a few of those vital scores, Chris, that just took them to half time in a nice comfortable position.
Yeah, exactly. It just it gave them a bit of breathing space, even though Mountmellick had the wind in the second half, and Mountmellick did come back at them as best as they could and that, but they kept the scoreboard ticking over, as we alluded to during the commentary in the second half. Sean Tynan and Brian Dunn tapped over points maybe when the goal chance was on, that if they needed a goal, they probably would have went in for it or maybe laid on another pass and that. But as I say, Kieran Kelly has done a fantastic job with them, and Pádraig Dunn, the two midfielders are coming across here now. Pádraig Dunn and Simon Fingleton, they laid the platform. We know about their half back line. Colin Brennan obviously sits deep with the two boys breaking forward out of the wing, and they've done that very well tonight as well.
And this is fantastic day for their club, Park Ratheniska Club. Massive work done over many years. This hasn't just come about this year, I suppose. It's been a culmination of good few years, but they're a great, honest club out there, Chris. You know what I mean? They have a great school out there. They really believe in all that goes on around there. It's all community based, and it's nights like tonight. That'll really, I'm sure that community out there will be hopping regardless. You know what I mean? And why won't they savour maybe getting a first round draw against Portlaoise next year? Wouldn't they love that?
Well, they'll be coming in to celebrating it, I'm sure, at some stage over the weekend and that. But yeah, as you say, a great community-based organisation. The club is there at the heartland of it, and great work going on in the school for the last number of years. Obviously, they've going back to Simon Fingleton, and obviously even the older lads, they've been competing here and coming to Munschool finals at the top grade, and signs on it now with the good fortunes working its way to the top, to the adult team, and obviously they've worked from junior to the top now at senior.
Yeah, we see Kieran Kelly down there. He's in. They'll put a statue up of him out there.
Getting a picture with Red Ned now.
Get the father, the father's in on it. Getting the picture. I'm sure he's no more thrilled than any Ratheniska man is. Ned, he'd be really proud. But in fairness to Kieran, he was down there with Bridges there this year as well. He's a super coach, it has to be said. He brings a whole, I think he brings a new game plan every night to any team he goes out and play, but he really has been the driving force out there, and the boys are reacting to him, of course, as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's a very positive character, with bring a real good feel-good factor to the place and that. And he's built up a bit of experience, obviously, the last number of years coaching in Ribbon across the border in Kildare, and obviously involved with Mick Lillis as selector and that with Laois as well and that, and he's used all that, and naturally the bit of knowledge that Ned would have passed on to him from the sidelines too.
So Tomas Moore down there as well. Delighted for him, Tomas. we might get him back up here Sunday to commentate the match. We don't know where he'll be for the next few days, but and you see Brian Ramsey and all those people there that are really thrilled. Their team are back, senior, they're intermediate champions for 2021. We're now going to listen to the Peter O'Neill, the chairman, as he presents the trophy and the man of the match award.
We're a good shape. I'm turning around the beats in this team now. Onwards and upwards. Are you tomorrow? Last but not least, thanks for coming with us today, the nation. Fantastic condition of pitch today. Facilities here. All around everything. Thanks very much. Right here.
As we listen to Mark Delaney claim and make a fantastic speech for everyone of Park Ratheniska, man, woman and child, I'm joined by Pádraig Dunn, the deserved man in the match. But Pádraig, just to give you a few minutes, this means unbelievable stuff for Park Ratheniska as a club 26 years back, but I know history probably didn't come into it for me. It was a game you wanted to win, and by God you did in style.
Yeah, listen, we had a great momentum winning the junior last year. Since Kieran's come in, we've had 35, 36 lads every single session putting in the hard work. And listen, to see the cup down there with all the lads, all the people, families, partners, whatnot, it's just unbelievable for the community.
I just have to talk about, there was players on every line, superb today, but you got deserved man in the match, and I know maybe yourself and Brian have a few rows at home, but by God, he gave you some ball for that goal, didn't he?
He did. Listen, Brian's playing well all year in the half forward though. He's very strong, can hold the ball up. Yeah. And I knew if I made that run, Brian always gives it off, so I knew if I made that once or twice, I'd at least get one chance.
Your grandfather being proud of you, wouldn't he?
It's unreal, and my dad was on the last team.
Yeah, Willie, absolutely,
so, listen, we were delighted. I was thinking of Pad today, and it's just unreal.
And look, you talked about Kieran Delaney and Tobias Moore and Brendan and all them. They've done massive work since they came out there, but it wouldn't have happened unless you were willing to get involved in it.
Exactly, even past managers, there was always good numbers there. We knew there was something special, and Kieran Kelly just came in and changed a few things, and our mindset changed. We said we want to win the junior and then take on and win intermediate, and we did that. So. And
when Simon got that black card earlier on, we were looking at here and wondering, I know Tomas certainly wasn't impressed with it, but that was a vital part of the game for you, where you actually stood. It didn't make it didn't affect you, and you had to do double the work out there. You got a couple of massive turnovers earlier on. That really set the tone for you.
First of all, I thought it was never a black card in my opinion, but listen. We all dug in. It was 10 minutes gone. It was, it was probably a bad enough start to the game, but we didn't mind. Once Simon came back on, we reset, and then we took off and we got the goal, and we never looked back. We're delighted.
And you kept tipping on the points. We'll talk the two Delaney's. Kieran Mark did a massive job back there in Column Cross. Kieran then got a couple of vital points before the end of the first half that really just kept the scoreboard ticking over. What did Kieran Kelly to say to you at half time or anything? Or how did you say all that to
listen, just keep going. We knew that as the game went on, we'd start tipping over scores, and we knew if we kept a clean sheet, the game was ours. And listen, Kieran and Mark Delaney, two unbelievable servants to our club. They're inspirations, the two of them. So listen, it's great for them. They're getting on their career now, but they're still flying. I can guarantee you that. Mark and Kieran are still fully fit. We can't wait for next year already.
27 years since you were back. You're back senior next year. I'm sure you'll delighted. You won't care who you get in the first round. Portlaoise, bring them on. Port Tarleton, you'll play them all.
We don't mind. We're delighted to be there. We're delighted.
Pádraig, from everyone here, Licia, really congratulations. It's been a fantastic game. Great to see, and well done to Park Ratheniska. And don't go too mad over the weekend. See what. Good luck. Thanks, P. And as we sign out from NWR Moore Park, an awful lot of people looked in here. I hope if you're looking in at your club with Park Ratheniska or you're neutral and you were delighted for Park Ratheniska, you really enjoyed this game, because they really did a fantastic job here. They're the intermediate champions for 2021. They're going on to senior. They won the junior A this year as well. A fairy tale story for Park Ratheniska. It's going to be a long night or a long weekend for them. We wish them all the best of luck. Commiserations to Mountmellick. They just weren't able to come up trumps on the day like today. But it's Park Ratheniska night. They're the intermediate senior champions. The East Shopping Centre intermediate senior champions 2021. From NWR Moore Park, we leave you here with Park Ratheniska celebrating, and it'll go on for a long time. Thank you very much, and we'll see you Sunday for our senior semi-finals. Thank you.